For 35 years, Evelyn Carter, a quiet, hard-working black housekeeper, worked inside the luxurious Hillmore estate, a mansion filled with chandeliers, marble floors, and people too wealthy to notice the one serving them. Every dawn, before the city even woke up, Evelyn would arrive. She dusted the portraits, ironed the clothes, prepared the fireplace, and made sure every corner of the house felt like comfort. But no one ever thanked her. Leonard Hillmore, the wealthy businessman who owned the estate, was a stern, emotionless man. His voice rarely rose above a cold monotone. His daughter, Vivienne Hillmore, was even harsher, entitled, dismissive, and sharp-tongued. She often mocked Evelyn's old uniform, her tired hands, her slow steps. "People like you don't belong in a place like this," she once said. But Evelyn, gentle as ever, only smiled softly and replied, "Where I stand doesn't define who I am, Miss Hillmore." The years rolled on. Staff came and left. The Hillmore family grew wealthy, busier, and more distant. But Evelyn stayed loyal, not because she was trapped, but because she believed in finishing what she started. Then, one autumn evening, Leonard collapsed from a stroke. Family members who used to demand everything suddenly vanished. Doctors came and went. But the only person who remained at Leonard's bedside was Evelyn. She learned his medications. She read to him. She held his trembling hands during painful nights. She stayed not because she had to, but because her humanity refused to abandon someone in need. And slowly, the cold man softened. One night, with tears Evelyn had never seen in his eyes before, Leonard whispered, "You're the only one who ever treated me like a human being." Months passed. Then one morning, Leonard quietly slipped away in his sleep. A week later, the Hillmore family gathered for the will reading. Vivienne arrived in designer heels, convinced everything was hers. The lawyer unfolded the final document. The room fell silent. "To Evelyn Carter," it read, "who showed me dignity when I had forgotten how to give it. I leave my estate, my savings, and my full gratitude." Vivienne erupted in rage, calling it absurd. But every signature, every witness, every legal stamp was in place. Evelyn didn't celebrate. She sat quietly, hands trembling, tears slowly falling down her worn cheeks. She had entered that house for decades through the servant door. But now? She walked through the front door, not as help, but as the rightful owner. And as she stepped into the sunlight, she whispered the same words she had spoken for years. "Where I stand doesn't define who I am, but how I stand always will."